So when I say it's the world's easiest, this is kind of what I mean. Not too bad, right? This is a build that I've wanted to do for quite a while now. I originally did a build, I think 3 years ago in 2017, which was this guy. This one is a 16-inch 308 AR-10 from Aero Precision. However, with this one, I figured we would do something that's a little bit more long range oriented. Now, it's not a complete long range rifle because, well, it's not a bolt gun. If you'd like for me to do a bolt gun build on this channel, just let me know down in the comments. I'll read your comments. I might not be able to respond to them all, but I'll do my best. But ever since I did that build, I wanted to build 2 more variants of the 308 AR-10. One of them I wanted to build was an AR-10 308 pistol, which right now in pandemic times is proven very difficult to get. And even before pandemic times, like I was having a hard time sourcing all the parts that I needed, mainly the barrels. So I went ahead and I was like, you know what? Let's see how affordable we can build a 20-inch AR-10. And you know, this is gonna be a new series that I'm doing, so it won't be all in today's video. So I wanted to go over this AR-10 today. It's kind of an unboxing. We're not really unboxing it because it's obviously been unboxed, but I wanted to show you what all comes with it, what all you might need in the future if you plan on doing something with this and shooting it. I also wanted to go over some things you should know about building AR-10s versus, say, an AR-15. AR-10s are inherently, for some reason, more finicky than AR-15s. Like with an AR-15, for example, you can order tons of parts from multiple different manufacturers, put them together, and most of the time it's going to run right. These are a little bit different, which we'll cover here in a second. Also, for those of you who are interested, I'm still sharing deals. I know that our Tumblr page was deleted. For those of you who didn't see the video a while back, my Tumblr page got deleted. I usually share deals and restocks. So if ammo comes in stock or something, I usually shared it over there. Well, because they deleted my page twice, I can't do that over there. However, I'll put a link down in the description below where it'll give you access to my deals page. I share it in 2 places. Main page that I share the deals to is on my website. And then the second page I share deals to is the Jump. I'm not gonna go into what the Jump is, but it's an app you can download, and I have a tactical toolbox page and I have other gun groups over there. It's similar to Facebook and Reddit mixed together, but I'll have a link to that if you wanna check that out. But I share deals over there as well. But I got a few emails about the deals page and people that didn't see my previous video regarding the deals page and what's going on with it, so that's there for you. But anyways, let's dive up close real quick, take a look at this guy and see what all you get for the money and why it's so easy to build. So this is the PA-10, or otherwise known as the Palmetto State Armory Gen 3 AR-10, and I bought it in a couple of different pieces, which is why in the beginning of the video I showed you how easy it is to build. This is definitely the epitome of assembled versus build. I know some people like to argue in the comments, like if you're not milling an 80% lower on an AR-15, they think, oh, you're assembling it, which is, you know, pretty much true. You know, the words can be used interchangeably, but this is 100% assembled. Like all you do is buy an upper, buy a lower, and put them together. Oh, and just a heads up, if you are interested in checking out the prices and stuff on any of this, just follow the very first link in the video description. What that'll do is it'll redirect you to another page where I have this video hosted, either my website or on Full30. And in the description of that video is where you can find the product links for everything that you're gonna see in the video. So, and there'll be product links for other stuff too that you're not seeing in the video, such, you know, as the deals page and all that other cool stuff. You know, our videos aren't monetized on YouTube, so the only ways that this channel is able to stay alive is by people using the product links. And I just wanted to say thank you for that. We do have a couple sponsorships, but 95% of the way that this channel stays alive is 100% from you guys using the links. And I just wanted to say thank you for that. So let's go over the lower first, then we'll go over this upper in a second. So I'm gonna get this upper out of the way. So with the lower, you buy it as a complete lower. You can get it in a few different configurations, and within those configurations, the prices kind of vary depending on which one you get. The main cause of variance in the price is from the buttstock that comes with it, and then there's another one that comes with an upgraded trigger. So, you know, you can go all the way, if you just want a standard lower that has a standard A2 grip. If you get one with a standard A2 grip and a standard M4 carbine buttstock, I mean, this complete lower is like the low 300s. And then, you know, as you upgrade the buttstock, the next level up upgrades the buttstock, and then it upgrades the grip. This grip right here is actually a rubberized texture, and it feels amazing. I really wasn't expecting it to be a rubberized texture, but I am very impressed with that. And very, very seldomly do you get a grip that comes with a complete lower that's rubberized. So I thought that was kind of nice. But this one costs a little bit more than the one that has the A2 grip and the standard M4 carbine stock because, well, we got two things that are upgraded on this. Aside from the grip, we got the Magpul STR, which is the same stock that I have on my other AR-10. For these types of rifles, I like a stock that has a really good cheek weld. There's other types that you can get that have different cheek welds, but from Palmetto State Armory, for the ones that they offer, this is probably the one that has the best cheek weld. They also have one with a pistol brace on it. It has the SB Tactical adjustable brace on it. I was gonna get that one, but I haven't been able to find a barrel really to do a complete pistol build. But like I mentioned, we're gonna do that here in the very near future. And then they also have one that's identical to this, but it has a Geisley trigger in it. And obviously that one's gonna cost quite a bit more because Geisley triggers aren't the cheapest. But the cool thing is, I do believe if you buy it with the Geisley trigger, you're only gonna pay, I think, $150 more than if you got it without it. And Geisley triggers can range from, $200 to $250 if they're not on sale. So, you do get a discount if you buy it already all put together. That's totally up to you, and I'll have all the different variations listed in the build list, so don't even stress over that. But aside from that, we got a standard forged lower receiver for the AR-10. So on the Gen 3, something that they said is that they did relief cuts in here somewhere. But I do believe that the relief cuts are referring to, you see that little cut right there, right in front of where my pinky's pointing? There's one right there, and there's one right here. And it says that they did that cut so it would accommodate a wide range of aftermarket bolt carrier groups, because some people might buy this lower and not buy the upper. And I think on their older gens, it was getting a little finicky when you used different bolt carriers, which I mentioned earlier. I said, if you're gonna do an AR-10 build, it's not like an AR-15 build. If you start sourcing parts from multiple different manufacturers, you're more than likely gonna run into some cycling issues. When I built my last one, I used as many parts from Aero Precision as I could. And when I went out to shoot it, I did have issues the first time, but it was because I got the wrong ammo. Not that I got the wrong caliber. I accidentally got the 308 that's designed for bolt action guns. And so the tip of the bullet was a little bit too long, but once I got the right ammo, on the Aero Precision one, I never had an issue, and I still haven't had an issue to this day on cycling. On the trigger, it has a 2-stage nickel boron fire control group. So in the cocked position, you see how you get a little bit of play there. You can set the stage and then pull through, and then the trigger goes through. I'll show you that more when we have the upper attached to it, but it's pretty basic. It's not anything crazy, everything you need and nothing you don't need, basically with the lower. So when you order it, this part obviously goes to your FFL, and then the upper comes directly to you. So let's take a look at the upper real fast. Also with this one, a couple things to note is the castle nut has been staked. It's been staked right here, and then it's been staked right here, so it's not gonna back off on you. And this one has a carbine length buffer tube with a short, heavy buffer. I don't know yet if we're gonna have to change that in the future, but as we go out and test it, we'll definitely figure that out. But I want to let you know what all's included in it. So on their website, you'll probably notice a few things. Number one, stuff sells out super quick. If it does sell out and they have something you want, you can click the notify me when they're in stock. And all you do is you click that button, you put in your email address, and when it comes in stock, they'll email you. But this one is the 20-inch upper, complete upper. It has the 15-inch M-LOK rail on it. And a couple of things that I like about this rail, let me zoom you in, is on this rail, I like that it has a hybrid M-LOK, meaning that it doesn't have Picatinny that goes all the way across the top. Because sometimes when you're shooting, especially with regular AR-15s, you want to put your grip, you want to grip it like this sometimes, get your grip up here. And when it's got rail section right here, it's really uncomfortable, but this one is not bad at all. So the barrel, like I mentioned, is 20 inches long and the handguard is 15 inches long. I do like how, because it's a hybrid, you got a little bit of extra rail section right here on the top. So whenever we get our scope, if we have to push it forwards a little bit, it's okay because we have that section here. One thing I will kind of knock it on is, unlike Aero Precision, for example, they have a continuous rail. So if you notice right here, there's this huge gap where there probably should be a couple of slots. For example, if you could mount your scope here and be good, you're gonna have to go ahead and move it forward. Whereas on something like an Aero Precision, you wouldn't have to do that because it's a continuous rail. But at the same time, because of the price of these things, I can't knock it too badly. On the front here, it has your standard A2 flash hider. I will go ahead and we're probably gonna go ahead and change that out later. I wanna get a good test in before I start changing out too much stuff, but we'll change that out for something that reduces recoil later. So on this one, it has a stainless steel gas tube in it. You can get it in a couple of different variations. They do have these with black nitrided, but this one just happens to have stainless steel. I'm gonna be really honest, I don't know if there's a big difference between the two. I'm not gonna pretend that I do know the difference. But one thing that is cool about it is in the box, you get this really long Allen wrench because right here in the front, we have an adjustable gas block. It's a 5-position click. So what you do right there in the front is an Allen head. And all you do is you simply can take this guy and you can put it in here and you can turn it whichever way that you need. So if your gun's overgassed, you can lower it down, or you can raise it back up, just kind of depending, and you can tweak it for your particular type of ammo. Sometimes people that shoot 308s, or if they're really into bolt guns, they're gonna run a very specific hand reloaded ammo. In this case, I won't be doing that, but it is good to know that that's there in case I have cycling issues. So we'll look at the ejection pattern and stuff when we get a chance to go out and test it, and then we can tweak that as we see fit. They do have this barrel available in different lengths. I believe they got 16, 18, and 20, and stainless steel. The cool thing is it says in their description, it's actually dimpled. So if we zoom it in, you can see right here where the 2 set screws are. So we actually have 2 dimples in place. I think. I do know that there's at least 1 dimple in it. Now this particular barrel is 308 and it has a 1 in 10 twist rate on it. And I believe that's exactly the same as my other barrel that I have that's 16 inches. Seems to be like a standard twist rate with 308s. I'm sure there's others available, but that's just what I have. Now, moving on back here to the back, let's pull out the bolt and the bolt carrier. Let's pull out the bolt carrier group and the charging handle. So a couple of things that they mentioned about their bolt carrier group is that it has extra power extractor springs in it. I'm just gonna kind of quickly take this guy apart. We're gonna take a look at it. I actually did oil this up a little bit earlier with some shooter lube. I mean, for those of you that have been watching the channel for a while, you guys know this is my favorite stuff. I'll throw a link in the build list for that if that's something you're interested in. So let's take it apart real fast. Now this has not been fired yet, just a FYI. And this is in fact my first time taking it apart. The bolt here is made by Toolcraft out of 9310 steel. And like I mentioned earlier, they said it had an extra power spring in the extractor here. So that should be good. And it should help with any types of cycling issues. I hope so, at least. The carrier here is made out of an 8320 steel. And both of these are nitrided as well. Another thing to look at whenever you're getting a bolt carrier group is to look at the gas key. This one is properly staked. This is actually a very important thing to look at because I had a buddy who had a DPMS upper, came with a DPMS bolt carrier group. And I remember we were shooting it and having cycling issues, and I took it apart and his gas key wobbled loose because his gas key wasn't staked properly. So that's always something to keep an eye on. So that's pretty much the bolt carrier group. Bolt carrier groups for AR-10s are far larger and far heavier than a standard AR-15. So if you've never held one, it's actually something to behold because you don't realize the magnitude of the size difference until you actually get one and hold it, and you're just like, wow, I can't believe the thing is so massive. But overall, I mean, I definitely prefer nitrided or nickel boron bolt carriers. I have a couple of Parkerized ones, but the Parkerized ones to me always require so much oil that I'd rather have either something like this. My main preference is nickel boron because you can almost run those without any lubrication. Not that you want to, but it's there in case you run out, which I think is very important. Should also be noted that their bolt is also magnetic particle spec'd and high pressure tested. That way, you just know that from the factory, it was tested correctly and works. The charging handle isn't really anything to write home about. It's a 7075 T6 aluminum charging handle. It's very basic, this is actually something that I'm gonna swap out right now. A long time ago, I told Geisley I was going to do an AR pistol. I was going to do an AR-10 pistol build, and I thought I was. Like, I sent emails out to a company to get an AR-10 pistol, And then for some reason, it just never showed up. But Geissele sent me a bunch of stuff. They sent me some triggers and all that crazy stuff. And then they sent me this charging handle. And I love these things. It's very similar to like the Radian ones. It's ambidextrous, so it doesn't matter what side you pull it on. And I like the fact that it sticks out a lot further than, you know, your standard charging handle, because once we get a scope on here, it's going to be really hard to reach back and pull this little guy. So with these things on there, oh man, it just makes the biggest difference. So I'm really excited about that. Put a little lube on the top. So let's put this back together. All right, let's see how this trigger feels. So this, like I mentioned, this is a nickel coated 2-stage trigger. So we're gonna go take up, break. Wow, that was stupid light. Let me go get my trigger pull gauge. Like, that was insanely light. And this isn't even the one with the Geissele. This is the one with the Palmetto State Armory trigger. Let's do a little pull test real fast. I'm gonna go ahead and take out the slack. Oh, well, it wasn't as light as I thought. It's 4.5 pounds. It felt a lot lighter though. Let's try it again. Yep, 4.5 pound trigger. Not too bad. Let's try pulling it again, but up higher. So take up, break. It literally does not feel like 4.5 pounds. It feels more like, in my finger, it feels like 2.5 to 3 pounds, but apparently I'm wrong. Apparently my finger dyno is off. Let's try this. I'm not gonna help the trigger, but I'm gonna try to pull it towards the bottom of the trigger, but I have to place my finger here to keep this gauge from sliding around. Okay, cool. So yeah, when you pull towards the bottom, it's definitely 3.5 pounds. Whereas if you pull up higher, it's gonna get heavier. Let's talk about the price real fast. Now, obviously, because of current events right now, prices for anything you want are gonna be slightly inflated. And I've spoken with a few different manufacturers on, you know, why the prices are going up. Now, in basic economics, there's a whole supply and demand curve. You know, as demand goes up, supply goes down. As supply goes down, price goes up. But that's not the entire story on why prices are going up. Main reason is I've talked to 6 or 7 different manufacturers, different retailers that sell gun stuff. And I've asked them like, hey, you know, why are you upcharging on the prices? Main reason is to stop you from buying it. Straight up. And it's not because they don't want to sell it to you. It's because of the rush of people that are coming in. These companies are running, I know Palmetto State Armory, for example, is running at like 180% capacity right now. And what that means is, you know, if they ran at 100% capacity beforehand, almost double the amount of volume going out. And a lot of companies are very hesitant on hiring more staff because they're worried that after the elections, everything will crash. Like, so in 2016, this kind of happened as well. All these manufacturers stocked up on AR-15s and lowers and hired all these people. And then when Trump got elected, people stopped buying guns as much. And then all these companies lost hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars, because they couldn't sell the stuff that they had. You know, that's kind of the situation right now, not to make it political or anything, but I just want to let you guys know, this gun is for an AR-10 that has the proper high pressure testing, magnetic particle inspecting on the internals and the bolt and stuff, is really stupid cheap. I like to use that in a lot of phrases. I believe this setup right here with this lower and this upper comes out to around $800-ish, a little over $800. The other problem might be finding AR, 308 ammo. That might be kind of tough, but I just want to throw that out there for you guys. The prices that I stated earlier are as of today. And I'm literally recording this video the day before I publish it. So they shouldn't be any higher. But if you're watching this video like a year from now, don't expect everything to be the same. I get a lot of comments sometimes where I'll have a video that was up 3 years ago and they are complaining that the coupon codes have expired. Well, that's what happens. Promo codes expire. But regardless, still a fantastic deal for what you get, especially considering, like I was mentioning earlier, the high pressure testing, magnetic particle inspecting, and then also, that it's the Gen 3, so it will accept a wide variety of bolt carrier groups if you don't buy their uppers. And then it also has the 2-stage trigger that's really nice in it. So literally, all you would theoretically have to do is get this, put a scope on it, go zero it in, and hopefully it'll just shoot for you. So that's something, we'll be testing in the very near future. Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. We're gonna make probably another 3 or 4 videos with this rifle. As soon as I get the scope, we'll make a video on that. Then we'll go get some test rounds. I'll let you know if I have any cycling issues or anything breaks, because if things break, I put it on camera. And then hopefully we can do a 308 pistol in the future. But until next time, guys, I love you. You guys stay sexy.